blockchain. We have 4 learning targets here. We'd like to introduce you to how to make a blockchain query with BlockFrost. We'd like to repeat learning how to make blockchain queries with Maestro. And then once we take an initial look at both of those, I'd like to show you how Mesh makes it really easy to work with both of these and other providers by showing you how Mesh providers work. And then we're going to take a quick look at what an indexer does. We're not going to go too deep in this course into building our own indexers, but I'd like to just show you why indexers exist. And then I'll point you to some other content that can help you go a little deeper into this. So those are the learning targets. And the introduction here says, well, we've already learned a lot about transactions. If I look at a review of the course, right, people got started and they minted a PPBL 2024 token. That requires a transaction. And then after you minted your token, you used it in the live demo at Plutus PBL. And let's look at this for just a second, actually. All right, so here on the Plutus PBL live examples, if I connect a pre-prod wallet, first of all, I can see whether or not I have the token. And in this particular wallet, I do. But then for learning target 100.5, remember, and this learning target says, I can interact with a Cardano application. That's what people are invited to do right here. And this is a very basic application. All it does is it says, hey, if you have the PPBL 2024 token, we will allow you to withdraw 1 million scaffold tokens from this faucet. It's not a very complicated app, but we do use it in future lessons to help people go a little deeper. Why am I showing this to you right now? Because at the end of the day, this requires a transaction. When you build a dApp on Cardano, usually your goal is going to be to facilitate transactions on chain, because transactions are how we update the state of the ledger. Without transactions, all we're doing is we're looking at data. But here's the thing. For any application, people aren't going to build transactions without having a reason. So your app has to provide a user experience with enough information so that people will start building transactions in your app, doing the things that you're trying to facilitate. You're going to have to present information that's currently on the blockchain in order to facilitate this. And there's a silly example right here, right? This shows you how many tokens are still locked at the faucet address. But that's just a basic example of what I mean by blockchain information. And this is why we have queries. It enables us to get the information we need so that we can place it in our UI and build a viable app. Additionally, looking into the future, when you do construct a transaction, it's often the case that you're going to have to get information from somewhere on the blockchain. Sometimes that information comes from the wallet that I've connected. Okay, so my wallet with this pre-prod address has a little less than 7,000 test ADA in it, and it has a PPBL 2024 token. And the reason this application knows that is because my wallet is connected. Wallets already have a lot of blockchain query capabilities built in. But sometimes to build a transaction, I'm going to have to know things about addresses that are different from my wallet address. For example, right here, what's the UTXO at the faucet address? It's not in my wallet, so I have to get that information from somewhere else. And without that information, I won't be able to build a successful transaction right here. So I'm saying all of this because this is why querying the blockchain is so important. To build an application, you will definitely need to query the blockchain at some point. And even though we've looked at transactions, smart contracts, validators in a bunch of different ways, we haven't spent that much time on this concept yet. So let's jump in.